The first Nissan Gtr Gran Turismo racer was launched in 1969. It was the third-generation Skyline with the PGC-10 index. The homologation version of the four-door car was equipped with a naturally aspirated 2-liter inline-six S20. But what? Its crankshaft could spin up to 10,000 revolutions per minute. The engine with 3 Mikuni Solex carburetors produced 160 horsepower and 177 N-bullet operator M. With such an engine in a 5-speed manual transmission, the rear-wheel drive Skyline Gtr, nicknamed Hakosuka, reached hundreds in 8.2 seconds and accelerated to 200 kilometers per hour. In less than a couple of years, it won 33 races. And after the release in March 1971 of the coupe of the same name, revered by collectors under the Index K PGC-10, by 1972 there were 50 of them. The second GTR debuted at the Tokyo Motor Show in 1972. Production of the new Skyline 2000 GTR Coupe under the Index K PGC-110 started in January 73. But already in March it was stopped because of the oil crisis. People switched to economy models. Sports cars turned out to be unnecessary. In 3 months, only 197 Skyline 2000 GTR two-doors were sold. However, the second-generation GTR Coupe was remembered for the advertising campaign that the Japanese made in American style. After all, the second Skyline 2000 GTR itself looked almost like a vintage muscle car from across the ocean. The heroes of the plot were the lovers, Ken and Mary, quite exotic names for the Japanese. The campaign turned out to be so successful that Ken Mary's name stuck to the coupe and became its second secret name, Ken and Mary Skyline. Its characteristics were as follows. Engine, same S20, 160 horsepower. Production, only 197 units, cut short by the oil crisis. Fact, rarest GTR ever. Weakness, never had a motorsport career. The next GTR appeared only 16 years later. The GTR returned to production in 1989. This was again a Skyline coupe, relevant at that time. Moreover, this GTR under the internal designation EBN R32, abbreviated as R32, became all-wheel drive for the first time. The Japanese developed a powerful two-door to dominate the touring Group A. And it was motorsport that determined the drive scheme of the new GTR. Initially, the prototype of the third GTR was rear-wheel drive. It was tested with a regular inboard RB25 supercharged engine with a volume of 2.35 liters, producing 317 forces. But according to the rules of Group A, the displacement of the turbo engine should have been multiplied by a factor of 1.7, and tires with a width of 10 inches should have been used. This automatically put the coupe in the class of 4,000 cubic meters of cars. It was then that Nissan decided to make the GTR all-wheel drive in order to increase its handling and chances of winning races. The ATTESAETS transmission with a front end connected via a multi-disc clutch was developed for the coupe. She made the car 100 kilograms heavier, making the GTR too heavy for the 4,000 cubic meter class. Then the Japanese increased the volume of the turbo engine to 2.6 liters and installed tires with a width of 11 inches. The motor under the Index RB260 ETT began to produce 600 forces. And Nissan got what they wanted. The two-door dominated the highways. The civilian version with an engine that had an incredible margin of safety and tuning capabilities was liked by fans of speed. Despite the declared return of 280 forces and 353 N-bullet operator M, as well as the legally limited top speed of 180 kilometers per hour, Godzilla was capable of many things. It was refined at the Nürburgring, the North Loop, of which the coupe passed in a record time of 8 minutes and 20 seconds for production cars of that time. The fourth Skyline GTR under the factory index EBCN R33, abbreviated as R33, was shown in January 1995. In fact, it was an improved version of its predecessor. Under the hood was the same incredibly successful inline six-cylinder engine with 2 turbines and the same mechanics. By the way, he served different generations of the model for a total of 13 years. Like its predecessor, the GTR R33 received a number of lightweight and advanced sports modifications. The coupe was released in N1 and V-Spec versions. And for participation in Le Mans, the Nismo division made a road rear-wheel drive 305 horsepower GTR LM with a body kit and other suspensions. At the end of the life cycle of the two-door, in 1997, the Japanese released a limited series of 400 horsepower GTR 400R. But instead of the planned 100 cars, only 44 were sold. The last GTR R33 rolled off the assembly line on November 9, 1998. Moreover, this copy was painted in a new color, the same as its successor under the Index R34. The fourth generation of the charged version of the GTR, which had long been produced only with a coupe body, was also remembered for its return to its roots. On the occasion of the 40th anniversary of the Nissan Skyline sedan, in 1997, the Nismo division offered customers a four-door GTR for the first time in many years. In 2 years, a limited edition called Autex sold 447 pieces. The fifth GTR coupe with the Index GFBN R34 aka R34 appeared in the 10th generation of Skyline in January 1999. It became shorter and heavier. The length of the body has decreased by 7.5 centimeters, the wheelbase by 5.5 centimeters, and the front overhang by 2 centimeters. The engine has increased torque, and the previous mechanics have been replaced by a 6-speed Gtr gearbox. This Skyline GTR has become more technological and sophisticated. And in this generation, Godzilla took the first steps away from sports in the direction of comfort. In 2001, the Japanese released the M-Spec version, where M stands for manufacturer. In this car, Nissan showed what it sees as an outstanding sports car, with softer suspension, leather interior and heated front seats. Before withdrawing the 34th Gtr from production, in 2002, Nissan released 2 final versions dedicated to the Nürburgring. A total of 1,003 GTRs were made in newer, 718 coupes, GTR V-Spec 2 newer and 285 cars, GTR M-Spec newer. They were distinguished by exterior and interior design, a modified 334 horsepower RB260 ETT engine and could accelerate to 300 kilometers per hour. The generation of Godzilla, under the Index CBA R35 or simply R35 released at the end of 2007, became revolutionary for Nissan Gran Turismo Racer. Starting from this moment, the sports car turned into an independent model, ceased to be a two-door, charged version of the sedan in GTR from the inscription to the name Skyline in its own name. The new coupe, built in the style of the Nissan GTR concept cars of 2001 and 2005, features an original body and a unique design. The generation of Godzilla, under the Index CBA R35 or simply R35 released at the end of 2007, became revolutionary for Nissan Gran Turismo Racer. Starting from this moment, the sports car turned into an independent model, ceased to be a two-door, charged version of the sedan in GTR from the inscription to the name Skyline in its own name. The new coupe, built in the style of the Nissan GTR concept cars of 2001 and 2005, features an original body and a unique design. For almost 20 years of production, the current GTR has been improved many times. During this time, he received several special versions. Spec V with an acceleration to 100 km per hour in 3.2S in 2009, a 530 horsepower Egoist with a sprint to hundreds in 3.04S and a maximum speed of 320 km per hour in 2011, and a 600 horsepower Nismo at the end of 2013. The GTR R35 engine, assembled by hand by Takuma Masters, who only have 6 people at Nissan, became more powerful. The robot with 2 clutches made everything faster, made him click the steps with the speed of a blink of a human eye. Yes, and the dynamics of the car has increased. The coupe, thoroughly updated in 2019, accelerates to 100 km per hour in 2.8 seconds. After a short break in 2021-2022 and then the resumption of production of the two-door in October 2022, Godzilla underwent a symbolic facelift. The once again updated GTR was presented to the general public at the Tokyo Motor Show in October 2023. They promised to produce it in a limited edition, but did not specify the quantity. And it seems that the Japanese do not intend to stop there. So the story of the most affordable and the fastest sports cars continues.